Right, okay guys, so basically, as I say, I'm about to start to paint this, do the bottom half of this tree. There's the paint, that's acrylic paint by the way, it's these here. Those are the paints I'm going to be using. They're water-based paint, so they dry quite quickly. And just as a little point of interest by the way, you see this tub of water here, right? That is an ice cream pot. And I can't remember if it was a Ben and Jerry's. It might have been a Ben and Jerry's, but I can't remember exactly. But the reason why I'm telling you about this, right, is because it just amazes me, to be quite honest, because obviously as an artist and what have you, use all sorts of implements sometimes to, if you're working in watercolours or oil, or even if acrylic, or even if you're working in oil paint, you'll have a sort of tub of either linseed oil or terps or whatever to thin down the paint or whatever sort of thing. But the thing is that tub, like I say, it was an old Ben and Jerry's tub, and that tub was bought in 2005. I've had that tub all this time and I've used it all this time. And it just amazes me that it's still with me. Do you know what I mean? It sounds a bit crazy, maybe a little bit bonkers, but do you know, it's funny how, because of how long I've had it, and because it's not fallen apart yet, and because it's still relatively clean, because I keep it clean, although it's been really dirty at times, really full of paint and everything, but I've cleaned it a few times before. I'm amazed it's still with me. I mean, what's that? 2005. That's 10 years. I've had that water pot for 10 years, and all it is an old ice cream pot. You know what I mean? Shows you, doesn't it? Anyway, sorry, waffling on about nothing again as usual. Sorry. Right. So anyway, like I said, I was about to paint this, and then I suddenly realised, because this is newspaper, and even though it's dried quite solidly now, in parts it's still a little bit soft. And then I realised that, you see, unlike, say, like if I was painting on a piece of canvas. Now let me show you my canvases over here. See, look, now this is cotton canvas, and it's unbleached, sort of thing. So it's raw canvas. You can paint straight onto it, but there's a process, usually what they call size. There may be other terms for it, but it's the stuff that you put on. If you was to buy a raw piece of canvas and then just put it and then paint straight onto it, the paint will be absorbed straight into the canvas, soaked straight through, and it's not so good. I can't remember the other reasons why. I don't know if it's because the paint will come, eventually start to flake off or something or whatever. And as the canvas flexes and moves over time, sort of thing, the paint will crack more. So you put this stuff on called size. I think there's other terms for it as well. But anyway, so what it is, it's a way of trying to seal the canvas, sort of thing, so it's not as porous and what have you. So that like I say, if people, I'm not saying I'm absolutely 100% on these things, because like I say, as I've said and mentioned many times, sometimes my knowledge is not the most accurate. I've got a basic knowledge, and like I say, I learn stuff, but then I tend to forget it over years, especially if I'm not constantly using stuff and terminology. But anyway, sorry, I'm drifting off again. Right, so as you can see, I've got these bare canvases, and like I say, as I was explaining, they'll be treated so that when you paint straight onto them, the paint doesn't get absorbed straight into the canvas. It'll be on top of the canvas. And it's the same with these. These are called Della boards, or Dahlia, depending how you pronounce it. Dahlia board, and that's treated in a similar fashion. Anyway, so that's the point. Is that they're treated in such a way that it stops the paint being absorbed like a sponge into the material. Now, when I was thinking about painting this, suddenly remembered all that, and I thought to myself, if I start painting on that, the paint's just going to go soaking straight into all that newspaper that's under there, and it'll just become all soggy again, because this is water-based paint, so it'll become all soggy again. So I suddenly realised I need to seal it. I need to seal the newspaper, you know what I mean? I need to seal it so that it won't you know, the paint won't get just straight absorbed into it, and also the colour will be less vibrant. That's the other thing as well, because it'll get soaked into the canvas and you lose the vibrancy of the colour. So anyway, the thing is that I thought I better do something about it. Now, normally what I would do, but I didn't have any, was PVA glue. Just get some PVA glue, because it's water-based PVA glue. That's why they use it with kids, because, you know, it's not really toxic in that sense, and so it's relatively safe for them to use. And as I say, it's water-based, you know, so it's soluble in water and stuff. So anyway, the thing is that would have been ideal, basically, because once it had dried, once I'd coated it all with PVA glue, that would have made a nice seal on it. Do you know what I mean? And then it would have been relatively, you know, you would have got a nice surface anyway, basically. But anyway, so the thing is that I didn't have any, and as I said, I've got no funds to get any at the moment. Typical starving artist story, I guess. Anyway, so what I did was I had this tube of Yoo-hoo, I think that's how you pronounce it, I don't know, U-H-U glue. Anyways, that's probably not ideal, and I didn't have a full tube either. I'd already used some of this, so I don't think I've managed to cover the whole thing. I think I've got the majority of it, but there's probably patches where I've not. So we'll just have to see how we go. Now it's basically dry now. That's the other beauty of it. It dries very quickly. I think it's a bit tacky, but it's not too bad. It's virtually dry. So that will now hopefully be nice and sealed. As you can see, it's still sticking to the paper a little bit there, because it's still a little bit tacky. Get off. Stop sticking to the paper. Anyway, so right. So basically, like I said, that hopefully now will be sealed reasonably well, and I'll start painting on that, and the paint won't go, you know, won't get absorbed straight into the newspaper, hopefully. And again, it won't make it soggy either, because this is water-based, like I said, and it won't soggy the paper, as it were. Do you know what I mean? Otherwise, it'll all go soggy again, probably fall to mush. But anywho, I think, like I say, I'm going to have a bash in a minute. Now, I think I'll film this, because I did set a promise that I was going to film my process, and some people do or have asked and said that they want to see my process. At least one person I remember mentioned it in a comment or something. But anyway, some people might not want to, might find this boring. Maybe they enjoy my videos out and about. I certainly do as well. And believe me, actually, I feel quite self-conscious doing this, because as I said, and you might have noticed as I was talking about the canvas and the size and what have you, sort of thing, not size as in how big it is, it's size, I don't know the spelling because I can't spell. But anyway, so the thing is, like I said, what was I saying? Yeah, the thing is that I feel a little bit uncomfortable, because sometimes my knowledge, considering I'm supposed to be an artist and it's something I'm passionate about, something I've done all my life and I've always been good at since I was a kid. You know, sometimes my knowledge is a little bit, you know, it's not accurate always necessarily. You know what I mean? And sometimes I might be talking about something and somebody might say, "Oh no, you're completely wrong on that one." Blah 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 blah. You know, and I mean, I guess you know what it is. It's like I don't mind being corrected about something. Do you know what I mean? If it's done in a, you know, if people are not horrible about it, but I've had some comments where, you know, people have made like negative comments just because I've got a particular fact wrong. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, well, yeah, but you know, it's just one trivial, inconsequential fact that I made a mistake on. So what? Anyway, sorry, but you see, that's me getting self-conscious about it. So, anywho, like I said, the thing is, at the end of the day, the filming this process isn't necessarily going to be, it's not my most enjoyable of the videos I make necessarily, but I don't mind doing it because it'll be interesting as well, because I can watch myself back then, and it's like, what, you know, the sort of psychology thing, isn't it, whereby, you know, you can watch yourself back and sort of see, is that how I really am? Am I really like that? You know, sort of thing. So it's an education in a way as well, isn't it? So, okay, right. I'm going to stop the video for now, and then I'm going to set this up, and then we'll get painting. Right, catch you guys in a bit.